to the grand jury, and now Lindsey Graham joins that tiny exclusive club of United States senators subpoenaed and testifying.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. That was Chemo Cornwell, Hawaii State of Mind. Oh, with Chemo Cornwell caressing the keys and capturing called you Electra Star Girl. I don't know. I apologize. I'm just looking. There I go. Looking at the comment I posted. Back to Hawaii. Hawaii. That's a beautiful piece. And speaking of music, I was actually in the. Thank you. You are a star, Electra. I was able to get in the studio and sing. A song came to mind, and I shared it with a friend of mine who's going to be featured on my CD. I tell you, I'm so excited. The song just came very quickly, as did the melody, and we laid what is called a scratch vocal, for which old school, anybody that's heard me call the first vocal you lay down a scratch, they know that I am old school, boo, which lays the foundation. It's just kind of bare bones. You go back, you listen, and then after all the juice is added, however you do that, backing vocals, horns, layering everything, you come back to that first vocal, and with all the beauty and the love and the instruments and the voices and everything in place, you sing your heart out. My friend is fond of saying iron sharpeneth iron, and he is such a beautiful, his voice is so amazing. There are voices that do open the heavens, and the beauty of the Holy Spirit, the beauty of the creator of the universe and the earth and all the known universes and unknown universes. Hey, Jaconda, there are people whose voices, they can open their mouth and you actually have that moment. You have it. It's so real. So he's going to be coming on, but I just wanted to tell you that the vocal was so good. I'm so pleased that I don't know that I'm going to touch it. We will see, because when it happens like that, it truly is magic. It truly is magic. So we were there at 2:30 or 3, didn't leave to 3 a.m. So also anyone that has been in a recording studio knows that it's a lot like film or something, that you can hear everything. Everything is so crisp and so clean. You can hear every breath. You can hear the phrasing. You can hear whether you're flat or you're sharp. You can hear things that you might not hear through a monitor when you're performing live. So it's a process, and a beautiful one, and I'm so happy that it rolled in like that. Such a beautiful weekend. I hope everyone enjoyed the July 4th holiday. That if you cooked out or spent time with family and friends, what a blessing that is. What a blessing that is, family and friends. I was watching, I think it was Friday with Friends, and I heard Sienna say that, well, incidentally, Sienna Rose and I share the same birth date, October 9th. We have different years, but I understand. It's like I don't want to push myself on her, but I do feel her, because I do feel her, And she was saying that we had been locked in for so long that it was like we're going back into being able to hug and shake hands and see people's faces and all that, and it's almost like it's a foreign world. Oh, what a difference 1 year makes. What a difference. So Electra, did you have a cookout with your nephew when your nephew was in town? That's good. How old is he? Yes, Sharon Saib Jaconda is a warrior princess. Yeah, she is. I'm always so happy when she comes over because while I look forward to this page being full, and it'll get there. She's forever taking her time to come and moderate, and I love it. So there's been a whole lot of fuckery, y'all, a whole lot of stuff, whole lot of things. It feels like life is spinning us around really quickly. Like everything has time. It's almost as if time is collapsing on itself. That time itself is racing. So we had better get on board, and we had better be open to receive and to hear and to act and just catch up. If we feel like we're lagging behind, catch up. Catch up. Okay, so I said that we were going to talk about the music. I've updated you. I know you all think of me, at least I hope you do, that you pray that things are going smoothly. I spoke with the transcriptionist. The charts are beginning to roll. They're beginning to roll. I actually thought I would have had the charts, after you pay the money. You dig what I'm saying? I like when the cheese came in, Hunty, that you would begin working immediately. I wouldn't be talking to you about it today. Shit. Anyway, they're in transit. I think he knew that, first of all, you were referred to me by someone I've worked with, and I know he doesn't bring me garbage. I've worked with him his name is Che Marshall, and we were doing regular gigs at Barnes and Noble bookstores. I think that's the bookstore. But anyway, they had a coffee room, coffee area and a live music area. And I met Che. Man, it's as long as I've lived in Atlanta. So that's over 20 some years. He's a magnificent keeper of time and very sensitive to, I know when I work with him, he's very sensitive to me. He feels me. He knows how I want to deliver a song. He lets me know that. So I have loved having him as MD because he takes really good care of me, and that he's very sensitive to that. So he's the one that referred me to the transcriptionist, and life sometimes. I don't know what's going on with him, but today we had a nice conversation, and so my chart is going to be here. Well, are any of you or all of you watching the hearings? I am, with a great deal of interest, and I take notes because at some point I'd like to discuss I'll have Pat Wilson Phineas on again. She is the board member for the Witness Stones project. We talked about it. It is a project that has been taken into schools so that children can truly understand their history and their lineage on a whole nother level, with actual facts. It's kind of like, in a way, Henry Louis Gates, except different in that it is not about famous people. It's about, people. Yeah, so she's going to come on. She's also a lawyer, so I'm always interested in having someone. And she's been in politics. She's held office, so it's always wonderful to talk to someone who is knowledgeable, who's patient, and explains things very clearly. I'm going to have her on, but yeah, I've been watching the hearings. Looking forward to July 12th for another rivet in the words of my friend Conscious, for uh, another riveting session with the January 12th. Well, on January 12th with the 1/6 Commission. Well, y'all, let's see, who are the players? There's so many players and so much going on. Fani Willis serving those 7 subpoenas. I had a feeling that this was all going to transpire. Fani is how it's pronounced, but I think it's spelled Fanny, so people tend to mispronounce it. Fani. Our Fulton County DA is in the thick of it. We've, of course, experienced the trauma of this particular court overturning the Right to Privacy Act, especially as it pertains to Roe v. Wade and a woman having license over her body. She and her husband or her significant other having the right to discuss how their families are going to grow, uh, what they can do. I mean, the whole thing. Hey, Carter, Mancy, love, baby, how are you? It's so nice to have you here. And Teresa, thank you. We were just discussing Fani Willis, the subpoenas that have run out, and the hearings. And I have to really be focused because I have had a few cocktails, so I don't know what might come out of my mouth. For entertainment purposes only and not to hurt anybody's feelings. Yeah, so I'm feeling very, very good. I had, so there's joy in my life. Of course, we cannot not speak about Highland Park killings, murders, red rums, however. So yes, someone who was able to purchase these weapons legally, who, to me, just by looking at him and feeling the vibe, had a whole lot of stuff going on, a whole lot of let's just say that someone who young and who had allowed their anger towards others. We don't know what goes on in a family's house. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tie this all together. I was at a fellow YouTuber's on his line. I was on the panel when these shootings, first these murders, let's call that's what they were, happened on that day. And so it was, excuse me if I have to take a breath, because I also saw the video, heard the sounds, etc., etc. All right, so there was a very interesting conversation about this going on a fellow YouTuber, a content person, and his family came up. Now, we can assume because somebody presents themselves a certain way in their community, we don't know what goes on in their personal lives, because people have a tendency to show up with their avatar or something. You dig? It's almost as if when you are are you fall into the groove when you decide that you're gonna show up the way people want you to show up. Because if they knew if they knew who you really were and how your ass acted, yeah, you might not be invited into their space. So I want to say that as I looked at this young man's face, and as we move on, we're finding out more and more about him. And I think it was Ali Velshi who put up a tweet from his father who said, something to the effect that you should fight for the Second Amendment as if your life depended on it. And so I'm wondering how Daddy is feeling right now. But I digress. So what was interesting to me was that, well, let me go back to this line. Someone a troll came onto the line and wanted to put in the comments that this young man was working for Antifa, that he really wasn't a Trump supporter. He was just, somebody who's out there living his best life as best he can. So there were trolls there, and then someone comes on claiming to be a record company owner who had signed a rather controversial artist who he was saying was the puppet master for this young man, that it really wasn't this young man was just a puppet in the hands of someone who had, he's making the music the way hip hop and the way protest music, these days, people that are rapping or singing, as they may call it, within that, it's harsh. The language is harsh. It's a way for them to channel their anger. Anyway, this guy, there was something about him. The avatar, first of all, freaked me out. It's like I wouldn't trust a motherfucker looking like that. Anyway, hey, Ramona, and thank you for joining me. And did I say hello, Teresa? I hope I did. I would not. This avatar was, there was something about it that was quite distressing. And, as this person talked, there was just something that wasn't clean in the milk. And so myself and some of the other people who were on the panel or in the chat started doing some investigating behind this alleged person who had this inside knowledge of why this young man went out and committed these murders, that it wasn't really his idea, it was someone else. It ended up being bullshit. It ended up being just a troll, I guess, who really didn't have anything to do that day, to come just to drop in for a visit. Well, I'm sure that he understands that what he was on that line to do was dangerous, and it could have ended up hurting this alleged friend of Bobby Cremo the third, who somehow had some mind control over this young man. So it ended up being a bunch of bullshit, and actually kind of evil, because he was putting someone in the mix who didn't have anything to do with anything, but he was implicating this person and thinking, I'm sorry, these cars are falling out. I should pay attention to them, I reckon. Okay. So anyway, that's that for that. We have had, that wasn't the only shooting or murder situation that happened over the holidays. There were many more. I don't know what the numbers are of those that just perished this weekend, so that we still grieve with them. I don't have to know anyone. I don't care what party they vote for, whatever. Any of us that have lost relatives, my mother, my father, people in our family, whether you expect them to transition or not, there is a grieve. You do grieve, and I think that perhaps when I think about this man's Bobby's father, I wonder how he is feeling now and how he spoke to this kid, um, because he'd been called out. I mean, they now say that he voiced his anger when he'd taken up knives and wanted to commit suicide. He said he wanted to kill everybody. So I happen to be someone that doesn't think that this kind of anger ever shows up just out of the blue. That it is, that's deep-seated fury. And of course, being locked down and having to sit with yourself, some of us could rise up like phoenixes out of the ashes, and many became very comfortable in their darkness, in their brooding, in their anger, in their disappointment in themselves, a disappointment in people around them who are supposed to love them, who guide them, provide for them, counsel them, protect them. That's not happening everywhere. And so in this particular situation, it was a town, and I'm going to speak about it's Highland Park in Chicago. By all appearances, it is a upper middle class community. I didn't see anyone in the audience that was a person of color except for the policeman they kept showing over and over and over and over and over again. The mayor says that she said it was probably the most American city the most American city in America. And I began to wonder what she meant by that, because we know it was heavily populated by white people. Yes, yes, Electra, you're right. White people, girl. I guess I just should stop trying to be politically correct and just go on and say it, right? Because you're used to me not dancing around it. Yeah, white folks. So anyway, yeah, she was calling it the most American city in America. And we know that there were many. You don't have to know very much to know who they voted for, who they stand with. And I was really pleased with Lori Lightfoot's comment regarding just the heinousness of these actions, just a total, just in a very beautiful way, say this can happen anywhere. It's not just happening in the inner cities where people pretty much expect Black kids to be running wild, Black people to be running around killing each other. I mean, it's not just in urban areas. It visits you because in this case, these people are your son, your brother, your uncle, your daddy, your grandfather, your sister, your wife. You don't want to look in the mirror and say that, yeah, this is a seed of my loins. She said that her name, bless her heart, is I wrote it down. I got a bunch of. Her name is Nancy R. Rotering. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And she was saying that it was one of those towns that thought it could never happen. Nothing like this could ever happen in their neighborhood. It did. It happened in your neighborhood by someone who lived in your neighborhood. Yeah. So we do send our empathy and our prayers for strength. And, I can't rejoice that folks who were just gathering for a 4th of July parade, Happy White Man's Independence Day. We celebrate Juneteenth in this house. They were being all American that day, waving American flags and just all American. And it was a wake up and a lesson that yes, it can happen anywhere. And it may happen because one of your very own, gets as angry as Bobby Krim III and decides that they can get these high-powered killing weapons. The design is to kill.
Power off.
Thank you, girl. My speakers. Yeah. He's one of yours. He's your son's friend, your daughter's friend, somebody's friend. His parents, respectable human beings. They go to church. They participate. Somebody's a deacon in the house of the Lord. Upright. Upstanding community member. Yeah. So he's pleaded guilty. We see pictures of him dressed up as a woman, allegedly to kind of blend in after doing everything he needed to do and getting out with the rest of the crowd. I mean, he was thinking about this damn thing. He was thinking about it. He had planned it. This wasn't something that he just woke up with that day. He's been thinking of it and had come up with a way to execute this plan. So that instead of perhaps turning his anger, and trust me, I am not at all thinking that killing up everybody is the way to solve anything, because it isn't. It just makes me curious that you decided that you were going to shoot at and kill people that you didn't know, that had nothing to do with your condition, that had nothing to do with what was being said to you. And were you being bullied at home and at school, and just and feeling like your life was just not worth living, and so much not worth living that you wanted to take some people with you. I'm curious as to why it wasn't like within your family, because that is the fulcrum, that is the focal point of your anger and your hatred. Had nothing to do with that little 2-year-old baby who now doesn't have parents. They didn't know you. They might have been really nice people, and they might have really treated you very well. They didn't know you. And now, of course, yes, we are on the mental disorder, the mental illness, the mental of the mentals. Everyone's speaking about the mentals. These people are mentally disturbed. Well, obviously, I mean, you don't have to be Sherlock, because I don't know that anyone who's thinking and who is just doing the best they can to live a wonderful life and be inclusive and kind to other people. I mean, shit. Come on. They did not know you. And so the governor came. He looked like a short, pudgy fella because it looked like the people around him were taller than he was. But anyway, the young man has confessed. I think I saw that on the Chiron on MSNBC that he had confessed all 7. I don't know if he's going to ever speak to them about why he did such a thing. The why may not even matter, because the bottom line is that this baby doesn't have parents. Somebody has lost an aunt, a grandmother, a loved one. Someone had to witness the bullets in their loved one's body. The young woman who said she knew her grandmother was gone and she had to say, I love you, but she had to keep it moving. Oh, so he's been arrested, he's been charged, and he's been tried. And the people are saying that we're not finished with you yet. We're not finished with you yet, son. We are going to throw the book at your ass. And then we speak of a young man who experienced a heinous death. Policemen filled him up with 60 bullets, firing off 90 shots, 60 hit the target. And they get administrative leave. We don't know if they're getting paid or not. The young man, this latest young man, Cremo, was arrested without incident. No one pulled a gun. No policeman, to my knowledge. Somehow we think that running from the police is a crime. No, it isn't. It's not a crime to run, especially if you feel that your life is in danger. And this young man, his life obviously, yeah. We lift up his family. I apologize if his name and I mean, it's not purposeful. Sometimes when I get to talking, I have every now and again I get a glitch. You're right, Electrostorm, because Cremos is white. Well, anyway, now we have a mother who has a son who has been filled up with so much lead. There's no way. There's just no way when he's laid to rest. There's some calling for an open casket so that the world will see what we saw. I remember seeing a picture of Emmett Till, and I was horrified, and I couldn't sleep. And his mother had an open casket, so this young man's mother is being called to have an open casket. You know, you have 3 or 4 overweight, fat-ass cops running after someone, and because they're out of breath, they just start firing. They are barbarians, savages. And I really don't wish to offend anyone who isn't black. If you're white. But I gotta say, you need to check your brothers and your sisters and your peoples, because some of you are the walking dead. So moving right along, as we think of the mother, the choices they have to make, the news that the story will be followed. They also, the family of Emmett Till is requesting that since they found the woman who had accused him of kidnapping in the first place, well, they know she's living. They found a warrant that had never been served to her, and they are now demanding, and I think they should, that she be served. Nobody gives a shit that she's in her 80s. She's lived a good life. Emmett did not. And if you're in your 80s, well, who cares? You were able to live. So I wish them well. In scary news, Miss Jenny's name is coming up again. I just saw a picture of the shoe shine boy, Clarence, and a photograph in all of his arrogance and grandeur and anger and spitefulness. He had a picture of him. So, you can sometimes, he didn't spend too much time in that goddamn crematorium between Jenny's legs. It's all up in her coochie, crematorium coochie, all up in her taint and all up in her booty hole. He spent far too much time. It feeds his anger. Yes, thank you, Teresa. Please like, share, subscribe. Oh, Electra, you say she also has Alzheimer's? Oh, that's convenient. Just when people subpoenaing your ass to come in and have a discussion, you said, "Oh, I'd love to do it to get rid of any misconceptions." Nobody misconceived the damn thing, sis. We just saw your ass. We see you. We see you, and your man. We see you. Yeah. So how convenient. I don't remember who I am, let alone where I was, what I was doing, who was paid, who got the buses, who was in Agent Orange's ear. Oh my God. Jaconda, you're awfully quiet tonight, girl. I thought you came on. You haven't said too much. Jaconda is usually very chatty, so I miss her when she's not. Maybe she's doing something. I don't know. But yeah, Hunty Bunty, come on into the chat. Yeah, so we see you. We see both of y'all's asses. Because this is live and in living color. Oh, you're talking, okay, like it wasn't Jenny who has Alzheimer's? Shoot. You saying it's the woman who accused, yeah, well, you do some stuff like that and you see the results. Yeah, I'd have fucking Alzheimer's too. Especially when I lied. Especially when my actions led to the death of a young boy. Yeah, bitch, you got Alzheimer's. Yeah, you want to wipe out all of that. Somebody will help your ass remember. I don't blame you, Jaconda, getting something. I thought you were doing something. Thanks, boo. Yeah, Alzheimer's. Well, well, it would fit Jenny too, because I guess she's having stomach problems or something. It must be all the brimstone. Her ass is nervous and whatnot, and you should be. You have acted like a savage young lady. You have crossed the line, and millions of us see you, and we see him, and we wonder what happened to the. I thought these judges are supposed to have some goddamn integrity, not run roughshod over the people. And why are we talking about the Constitution? First of all, let me tell you something. Those men that came here with their dream were we weren't people, you see. They were rapists, savages. We were disposable. On the passage, the women were called belly warmers. We don't know how many died or jumped to their death to just not be here in the passage. So we didn't have anything to do with crafting that thing. And them bitches been dead for 400 years. They could never have conceived of muskets to AKs and ARs and whatever other names these guns are. They could never. They were using muskets and wadding. They never would have conceived of an airplane or these luxury passenger trips or these highways and these byways or these internets, this electronic communication. They would never have thought of that. So why are we trying to? Why, Alito, with your evil ass? Y'all, and your boy, y'all blowing up dust. You don't have to worry about impregnating anyone, unless, of course, you are or have. I don't want to go there with you. I don't want to look and see because I don't need to know. So, Nome, where is she from? Is she from North Dakota, Minnesota, somewhere? Very pretty woman. 10-year-old girl, raped, abused, pregnant. Too bad. A politician in one of the southern states, when asked if he thought a woman should have a child because she was raped or through incest, and he said it is his belief that she absolutely should. Like, damn, what it costs to have a child that, because of the incest, comes here in terrible physical condition, and there's not enough insurance, and there's just not enough of anything for the parents or the parent to keep the child alive and functioning. Well, where the fuck? This ain't got nothing to do with no kids. Where are you? I saw a picture where these people holding up signs, white people, don't abort your babies, we'll adopt. There are 400,000 plus people in the foster system that would love to be adopted. This ain't got shit to do with the babies. If it had to do with the babies, we wouldn't have mothers whose check covers daycare. Daycare would be provided to those who have to work on jobs that aren't paying anything, and then have to the expense of daycare. Oh my God. If it was about the children, daycare would be provided. If it was about the children, there'd be no hungry ones. If it was about the children, since y'all so pro-life, are you fostering? Are you a foster parent? What are you doing for the children when they get here? I thought in your Bible, the King Holy Bible, that life begins when you breathe your first breath, the breath of life. Until then, you don't have to be concerned about breathing. Shit, you're in a capsule, protected and fed and loved, and you don't have to think about getting out into this air. Such hypocrites. The hypocrisy and the fuckery of it all. Thank you, Tasha K, for that great that word. You're a beautiful linguist. So yeah, it's never about the children, ever. I watched I've subscribed to and watched the interviews from this gentleman at Soft White Underbelly. He visited a family by the name of the Whitakers, who were born out of incest, or however they got here. And the mother, I'm going to put in air quotes of the mouth, she knows the family bloodline, but we can see the results of daughters and fathers and cousins and, keeping it all in the family. We see what happened to these beautiful souls that are birthed. Two of them can barely speak. One makes noises and points. He communicates the way he communicates. But when you look at them, and when I looked at, they're protected. I got to say, the town where they live protects them. When you see the filth, it was sad to me. And so, y'all, I wonder if some of these motherfuckers who are talking about it's so that a woman, if she's raped, should go through with the pregnancy. I mean, maybe you call that rough sex. Perhaps you should experience what it is to be raped. Entertainment purposes only, y'all. My opinion doesn't reflect the opinion of the people in the chat. They are here because they decided they would come and visit with me for a while. Jaconda says, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm still trying to get to know this whole StreamYard thing. Oh, this yeah, well, all right, we ain't going back because the good old days wasn't good for everybody, and plus life moves on. Patrick Leahy, I understand, who's 80-some years old, has broken his hip. It's time for you all y'all's old asses need to be passing the torch. I hope that you all have groomed some of these young people who truly understand what is going on in the world. There is no going back. And you want to hang on because it enriches you. You want to hang on because I guess you feel more manly thinking that you are the you and the supremacy, the white supremacy, and the toxic patriarchy, and just the whole boiling kettle of hatred and ugliness, and it's just bubbling over. Go home. You're not, I don't know how much longer. Once you get to your 80s, I would imagine you really start thinking very seriously about how long your ass has got. You begin to think about transitioning, especially when you've had friends who transition. So, Electra, you're saying they want us to go back to yes, no, ain't nobody doing that. That's just not going to happen. The women, the divine feminine, the fury that women are feeling right now, I'm surprised that the women haven't gone and set some shit on fire. You know, I am very surprised. In our anger, you can feel it. You can cut it with a knife. Women are not going back, and neither are we. We're going forward. Now, your ass can stay back there if you want to. It's like, see ya. David Hogue said, y'all ain't going to live forever. And there'll be young people like me and others running for office, voting. That's right. Go home and write a book or become a lot, whatever. You know, spend some time with your family. Mm-hmm. And Fani, we are covering you and praying for you. We are standing with you. Yes, we pray your safety. We plead your cause. You know. So, yeah, we got a lot of woman stuff. That energy has been provoked, Hunty. It has been stirred up. Yes. Yes, we do. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, since we're on the subject of age, I want to talk about being, sexy after 50. Woo, ever so. And aging gracefully, especially when I think you get to a certain age, you begin to take your health very, very seriously. Because there are a lot of commercials and YouTube commercials and commercials about how to keep your youthful vitality, your skin tight and all the things that we want to cling on to. Yeah. We're talking about aging gracefully. I think about it. Because this is a good time for me. Yes, indeedy, Screedy Politi. Yes. This is a good time. I'm now able to clearly define what it is I desire in my life. And I am comfortable with that. I make no apologies. None of that. It's a good feeling. I hope you all are showing up and being who you really are, showing up for real. Society and family and church and people's thinking and stuff, it really makes it difficult for people to stand in their truth. For them to show up as who, be able to live their lives and be whom they are without judgment, because you ain't marching to the same drum. We don't remember people who march to the beat of the same drummer. We remember the ones who get all off key and beat the drum the way they want to beat it and kick it or do it. We remember the great ones are remembered because they did not color in the lines. So we make it really difficult for people to be that. There's so many people, with this white supremacy thing going on. Now they're attacking the LGBTQIA community. Always they were doing that, but now it's gotten uglier and more heinous. So what the fuck are you gonna do? You gonna kill everybody you don't like or understand or know because they're not living the way you think they ought to live? You just want to, you think that the answer is to take a gun You cannot kill the spirit of a determined human being. Yes, thank you, Sharon. Happy birthday to every Cancer. I hope you guys listen to Adrian at Red Lentil Healing, and Johnny at Tarot's Apprentice, and Tony from Shining Hawk with the horoscopes. Those are always fun. They really do bring the laughs. They're just lovely. So yes, happy birthday to all Cancers. We're looking at the moon tonight. The moon is waxing. She's not quite half full, but she's shining brightly. I'd love to be able to walk out and see her in the skies. I'm comforted by that. So yeah, why do I care who you're sleeping with if I'm not invited, or I'm not inviting you to my stuff, to my party? Why would I care? Why would I care? The most important commandment, the new one, is said, love you one another as I have loved you. We just seem to have gotten away from just some very basic teaching, because what we're hearing preached from the pulpits is hate and anger and judgment. Ganga calls them the evil angels, the evangelicals, who are actually wanting to force that fundamentalism, that strict nonsense, coloring the lines, doing what you're told, and just doing it without question. I mean, control. And so we have a bunch of people running around who can get weapons legally, who are totally out of control. But that ain't got nothing to do with aging gracefully. I just look at my notes, huh? Yeah. You get to a certain age where you're very serious about living. I would hope by the time you get to 50 and begin to go to cross over into that beautiful, true, shown up womanhood. This is for the women's, that where you know who you are as a woman. You just know yourself so well, and you're not going to hide it or try to ignore it or suppress it because it makes somebody else feel uncomfortable. That's on you. Okay? That's on you. It is on you. So, I am going to do S.A.G.A, Spirit, Angels, Guides, and Ancestral Message. I am using the cards that Adrian, she did a drawing, and I was blessed to get this Work Your Light Oracle cards. They're beautiful. They're light. The art is pretty. I don't know that I'm going to turn the camera on, simply because I'm in the dark. You can't see anything really anyway. And I happen to like this picture. So that's my avatar. I happen to think it's pretty hot. God damn it. So, um, I'm going to do that. We'll do that. But I want to just encourage you to just peel off the layers and really show up as who you are. It's not, we are created in the image and likeness, right, of the Creator. Therefore, if we are created in the image and likeness of the Creator, we are created perfectly. that in the 139th Psalm on I think it's about the fourth verse that said, and I paraphrase, I will praise thee, O Lord, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Power, baby. So let me do my oracle reading. What do the spirits and our angels that the Creator sets round about us, lest we dash our foot against a stone, according to Psalms 91? I will set my angels round about you, lest you dash your foot against a stone. What are the guides? And because we're all here as a collective, I'm inviting yours in as well, not just mine. And of course, our bloodlines, our ancestors, the one whose shoulders we stand on, and the ones who, well, we are here because of them. What say you? Let me see here, turn on the camera so y'all can see. And I think I'm going to try to pull the camera down so you can see the cards. Wait a minute. Let me turn the camera on. Now, I want you to say, yes, I can see. Can you see the cards? Yes, that looks pretty clear, doesn't it? That says inner temple, devotion, tune in to the portal of your heart. That seems to be the overall message, doesn't it? That we have to tune into our inner temple. Spend some time and massage it and honor it. Whew, and I know sometimes, I have to go to the upper room. I have to be alone. And I have desires to come on YouTube more often. However, there are periods of time when I have to do this as I feel doing it, because it has to be a pleasant experience for me. It has to be fun. I don't know about monetization and all that. That sounds like work, child. A whole lot of work. I have said to myself that I will come on once per week. I can do that. Just to say, hey, check in on y'all. Just to say, hey. This is also, to me, saying this with the women who are, this is about the divine feminine, this card. It's about, this is black girl magic, This is woman energy. And we will save the world, We are saving the world. We are saving the world. And that's why we're out, so many of us are in protest out here on the streets saying, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. We are not going back. Yeah. Your inner temple. Pay attention. I can't express enough how important it is that you spend some time with yourself. And it is an action card. It is an action card. So let's go to the action cards. Let's see. Just bear with me, y'all, because I got these readers on them. Woo. So it's an action card. All right. We got that one. We know. Take care of ourselves. Take care of yourself. We got to get up early in the morning, earlier. I don't know how many of you have families. I just assume you probably have husbands or children or something. Take care of yourself. You can't run on empty. How many times do I have to tell you? The next card is Priestess. And it says, how are you being called to step up and lead? How many of you have had a lot of sleepless nights? I've had a lot of sleepless nights because it's almost as if I can feel things in the air, and I've had about 6 weeks of just a few hours of rest. Sometimes not being awake in the night hour, not able to lay down just yet. It's been an active time to me in the heavenlies. And we have to ask ourselves, once we come out of the inner temple, once we absolutely open up our hearts and we tune in to our hearts in the portal, we open up our hearts and we open up our minds so that our hearts and minds agree, two or more gather together, touching and agreeing. Yes. Then we can, as priestesses, as queens, as however we define ourselves, we will understand what we are being called to step up and what we're being called to step up and lead. We are able. So the Spirit says, come into the inner temple. Come in and spend some time with me. Come and spend some time with me. Let me replenish you. Let me give you strength. Let me give you peace. Just come and rest in me. Come spend some time with me. Our angels are saying by doing that, then we know how we're being called to step up and lead. We'll understand because we have nourished. We have nourished. Wait a minute, this is wrong. Okay, like this. Ooh, I'm goofy. We have nourished our inner temple. We understand. And in our understanding, we become unbound. We release soul patterns. We release contracts and past lives and leave the past in the past. Isn't that what we said? We are not going back. We are unbound. And in this unbound energy, oh my, oh my, oh my, we fly. We fly. We are called to those heavenly places and we fly and we thrive. We are unbound. We are fearless. We remember the women who made the way, the early fearless women who said, oh no, I can do many more things except be your sperm receptacle, have babies, cook dinner, be your whipping post. Oh no, we are unbound. Why? Because we spent time. This is critical. We spent time with the Holy Spirit. And our angels tell us that doing that will bring us to the point where we will understand what we're supposed to be doing. And the guides say we are unbound. We're letting go of some old stuff, old thoughts. Be ye renewed by the transforming of your mind. Yeah. Whoop. And I asked us to say, the sisterhood of the rose. I love roses. Do you know roses have the highest vibration of flowers? So that adage or that saying, stop and smell the roses, is a real deal. That's why when you have rose oil and perfumes, it's so expensive. Now you can go to the service station, any place, and get roses don't have no scent. What happened to the roses that smell good? Now they just don't have any perfume. Beauty and devotion. It goes back to our priestess, mystic, teacher. We're all those things. And we understand. We understand. We understand. We understand. We understand. Connect with your sisters. I've heard women say they don't have any women friends. I think women who say they don't fuck with women don't want to deal with themselves. You might be, if everybody is us pushed out. If you're not dealing with other women, you might have some shit you need to work on. Okay? And the last card, just as a little sweetening, is the ever unfolding rose. Ooh, we are free because we are cracked open, baby. And we understand that what is going on in our lives is happening for us and not to us. Because in all things we give thanks. In all things we acknowledge the Holy Spirit. In all things we give thanks. In all things we are grateful, even in these difficult times. But the thing about being in these times, these very interesting times, is that you're not alone. We are all going through. We're all going through. We're all suffering from PST, whatever that, post-traumatic decline. Come on, Jaconda, give me the, hey, Desiree, how you doing? Post-traumatic stress syndrome. We're all going through. And as I said earlier, some of us understood and we came up and rose up like the phoenix out of the ashes. And some remained in the darkness. They love it. It has taken hold, it's taken root. We know because it's got such a grip on people that they are feeling as if what we need to do is just kill everybody because I feel like shit. My life is shit. But you know what? I'm not going to do this to myself first. I won't. That's not the thing. I won't. I want to take some people with me. People that ain't got shit to do with how you feeling. That didn't do anything to you. You're right, Desiree. That's all. That's what we have, and that's our power, our prayers. And do your best to think positive thoughts. I have times when I don't. I'm not thinking that way, and I have to work hard on that day or at that moment to get me back into the heavenly spaces and heavenly places. I don't want anyone to think that when we say, oh, you got to think positive, our minds are gonna, it's all right for you to acknowledge when you're uncomfortable, you're angry, or you're sad. It's all right to acknowledge that and just let it move on. Do your best to not stay there. You can't, for me, it's not good for it to remain and fester. Acknowledge it. We're shit. We're not one dimensional. You know, we are so we're just so multifaceted and fabulous, child. So shit. Show up at stop. I think Heart of Inspiration, Dr. Lisa was saying we're getting out of struggle. Get out that struggle head. Shit. Let's be free. Because we see how tough it is to be free. Freedom's tough, and it ain't even free. We are in a space where we gotta fight for it. Fight for freedom. We're in a space where people would rather homeschool and indoctrinate their children rather than have them go to a school where they interact with other children from different walks of life, from other and share experiences and are curious and finding their way. And we have people say, "Oh no, we're gonna make them think like we gotta indoctrinate them. We don't want them to be spontaneous and open and loving. We don't want, what is that? That is some bullshit. That's what it is. Stop it. You cannot suppress the humans. You just can't suppress the spirit. You cannot. And right now the spirit is running high. We're running high, especially the women. Men, I did also hear or read that men are getting more vasectomies now. That's fine. Yippee. That's fine. But you still have a choice. You can choose to get a vasectomy or not. I don't have you don't want me to choose what I want for my body, my flesh bag, my shell. Come on now. Baby, there's hell hath no fury. Hell hath no fury. And I feel the spirit of Lilith rising up, y'all. She said, I ain't playing. No. But as I close out, I really want to thank you all for coming. Sharon Sipe and Desiree and Jaconda, my ride or die, Carter Mancy Mesquite, Electra Storm, Teresa Balthazar. It's just, I have 9 people. That's a lot. That's a lot. Sometimes I get 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. I could probably sit here and entertain myself, but I sure am happy that you all took time out to come and sit with me. Go forth and enjoy. If you need to back off what we see, what we're being fed, back off. Goof off. Watch some movies or go forth and enjoy. Desiree says, hi, Jaconda. Hi, you probably saw it. Bye, Electra. Go forth, enjoy, and understand that gentle is the voice of love. Let's just not give up. Keep on loving. Because I firmly believe you can love the hell out of somebody. Just keep on loving. I'm so happy you all stopped by. And I will see you another day. If I can, I may play a little bit of what I'm doing just so you can hear me in my elements. I'm excited. I am excited. You can like, subscribe, share, donate if you feel compelled to do so. But just, but most of all, thank you for coming through. So look for me. You never know when I'm going to pop up. Look for that notification bell and that announces that that we, the high priestesses and the queens, and that we are all gathering to have a little talk with Jesus. Okay. Thank you, Desiree. Yeah. Yeah. Mwah. See you next time. Remember, spend time, go inside, because we have things to do. And we have things to do. Heart and mind connection and agreeing. We have things to do. We have to change the world, y'all. Good night. Peace.